Hello, and welcome back to At the Symposium. I just recently uploaded a video on my thoughts on ChatGPT, and I'm already set up here, so I figured I'd make another video. As I was going through uploading that video, a video came up on my feed by a guy I never heard of named Wrangler Star, and he had a video entitled Why Young Men Are Giving Up, something to that extent. And I thought I'd touch on that. I listened to it, and I very much agreed with some of his standpoints, but I thought I'd just touch on that because I think it's an important topic and one that gets reiterated a lot. Now, I think I went to his channel and it seemed like a lot of his topics were related to that. These kind of topics have to do with like this kind of manosphere kind of idea they have going on online, which is kind of like a space where they talk about men's issues, I guess, essentially is what that's about. His overarching point in that video was, well, why are young men succumbing to just smoking weed and playing video games and kind of self-isolating and not really participating much in life? And I says he basically sums it up and says, well, it's due to kind of new wave feminism and a lot of the politics that we're seeing today and the ideas of toxic masculinity, in which it's disincentivizing men to participate in certain things. I very much agree with his analysis. The deal is, and I think that's a lot of what happens in the manosphere as well, as they talk about this stuff. I talk about the problem and the symptom, but I don't think they ever provide a cure. Here, I'd like to provide some sense of a cure to some regard. First, I want to do that by trying to frame the issue in another way. Because again, we talk about these topics, and yes, I understand that where we're coming from is true. Yes, these things come from political ideations and kind of new wave politics and stuff. But I think what we have to do is boil these things down to something more simple and more in the human domain of sociality, and that's in some of maybe the more negative part of human sociality, because I think we're in a kind of negative time right now, and that's very much due to a lot of politics. But coming down to human sociality, it's an idea of discouragement. People will discourage other people. Okay, people are always going to discourage other people. Doesn't matter if they do it individually, doesn't matter if it happens in a family, doesn't matter if it happens on a societal level. Today, we talk about things, we can talk about things, like I said, within, third wave feminism, and give these things the titles and racism, this and that, and this and that. We can have all these titles, and I think actually a lot of the political field, what they're very good at, especially like the whole postmodern thing, what they're very good at is giving things unique titles and really alluring kind of language around it, really kind of intellectualizing a lot of problems. But I think a lot of them all really boil down to, especially today, a lot of the new age ideas and philosophies, they really just boil down to discouragement. They're groups of people that want to discourage other groups of people, because those groups that are discouraging those people want to try to get ahead themselves in certain ways, or they want to build the culture in a different way. They want to take precedence. And a lot of times when people want precedence, they don't do it by doing something unique or doing something just, or doing something, by the use of merits, their own merits. Oftentimes do it by discouraging other people, or disallowing other people. But of course, given that we're in a free society, it's coming in the form of discouragement. Okay, so what I want to say to this whole thing about the guys that are checking out and they're not participating and they're doing the weed and video games thing, because of the discouragement that they're feeling, is don't be discouraged and understand that it is a problem of discouragement. And it's unfortunate that if you look at it in the male-female dichotomy, it's unfortunate that the people that are supposed to be our best friends and the people that we're closest to, the people that we're supposed to be in the closest community and relationships with, are tending to start to be our enemies nowadays. It's unfortunate that they've chose that path. It's unfortunate that we live in a society where that kind of thing has been so politicized to where people have become more enemies than they have become partners. It's unfortunate, but you cannot be discouraged by it. You have to understand it as a kind of tool and weapon towards discouragement. People are trying to discourage you, unfortunately. And we can talk and intellectualize it a lot and go down that rabbit hole for as long as you want. But I think when it comes down to it, these young men that are checking out in that way just have to realize that this is just about discouragement, and you need to choose not to be discouraged by it. No matter how awful it might seem, we have to understand that, hey, sometimes people will discourage other people. It's part of human life. It's unfortunate. It's also unfortunate that the people that are closest to us or should be the closest to us, the people that we should develop the closest relationships with, they might try to discourage us the most, yada, yada. Okay. But frame it as it's supposed to be framed. It's about discouragement. We're talking about the symptoms of them being discouraged. The symptoms of them being discouraged is the weed and video games and what have you. Okay. All well and good. I'm glad we talk about it to some extent, but I think there needs to be some more voices out here giving some remedies to the problem. I think ultimately the remedy is to not let it affect you in that way, because that's exactly what they want. Okay? The people that are trying to discourage you, that's exactly what they want. They want to discourage you, meaning they want you to not participate in some kind of way for whatever reason. I don't think they even really understand as well. I think it's kind of politics and power go hand in hand today, and I think people that are, and when I say politics, I don't mean politicians, just people have taken the political, in the younger generations, people have taken kind of a politics upon them, okay, and wanting to wield some kind of political wand just through their own vitality in their own little sphere, right? So people are going to try to affect things in any way they can. Usually when people can't, it's hard to make positive change sometimes, even in your own life. It's hard to build things, and especially if you're not really unique, or you don't have some kind of, unique skill set or something that you can create or something. People either create or destroy. Okay, this is just two facets. It's just, again, we have to simplify this stuff. People discourage or encourage. People create or destroy. Okay, you're going to be a creator, or you're going to be a destroyer, or let people destroy you, or let people discourage you, or you're going to encourage yourself and encourage others. It's unfortunate that we live kind of in an age of destruction. Okay, we can go into that. I know there's a lot of reasons for that and where it comes from, but we just make it simple. There's a lot of discouragement. There's a lot of people wanting to destroy. You can choose not to be destroyed by it and not to be discouraged by it. So that's my message. I hope it finds you well. Again, just keep at it. Do not give in to the discouragement. Understand it as such. And, keep trying to be the person that you would have been otherwise. Do not succumb to the discouragement, and keep your eyes on who you have been otherwise if you did not live in such a society that was trying to discourage you so much so. Thanks for watching.